Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. It is going to be an amazing day. You don't want to miss out today with my guest, Nicole. It's going to be so good. So make sure and share this out with your friends. Let them know we're on. Here we go. Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, Copper Rock Real Estate, Hope 107.9 Radio, The Oaks at Lebanon Retirement, and Stutzman Services. For more information on Copper Rock Real Estate and their realty services, go to copperrockrealty.com. And for more information on Hope 107.9 Radio, Hope for Life, go to hope1079.com. And for the Oaks at Lebanon and Retirement and Assisted Living in Lebanon, Oregon, go to lebanonretirement.com. And finally, for Stutzman Services and their plumbing, pumps, and services, go to stutzmanservices.com. Music by Connor Hedge and Protestant, used with permission. Hey, we're really here. Hello. Hiding behind the ad. This is Russ with Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. So glad to be here for another day, this amazing Thursday. And I am so blessed, no matter what time it is and what day it is where you are. I am so glad you've chose to join us today. A lot of people watch this on replay, I know, but I love the live engagement. So today, if you're watching live, please jump in the comments, say hi, ask questions, make comments, connect with each other. There's so many amazing opportunities. And so would love it if you would do that today. That would be so great. You know, we're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. That's right. Not only do we go live at 8 a.m. Pacific, but then it sits on LinkedIn, YouTube forever, Facebook for 30 days. You can go back and watch this forever. That is a good reason why you should become part of our YouTube community. So please subscribe today by going to marketingwithruss.live. Really simple. I keep it really simple. If you know the name of the show, you can find it, marketingwithruss.live. And all of the thousands of guests I've had on Marketing with Russ, Russ Reels Live, the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, the Experience Local, all of my live streams are there. So many great minds with great value, just like Nicole today. So I would just really encourage you to do that. Love it if you'd be part of our community. And then it gives you a good chance to go back and watch Nicole again after we're done today. So yes, thank you so much for that. You know, we at Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ up here, all about how amazing people connect. So what do I mean by that? People say, I've had people actually ask me this. It kind of boggles my mind. But I just had somebody ask me again when I went to PodFest, what does connection and community building have to do with marketing? And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I gave my explanation telling her that, you know what? Marketing, a connection community building to me is the foundation of any good marketing plan, any good business. Because without people, you have no business. It's all about connecting and building relationships. And I was told, "Oh, you're one of those heart people, aren't you?" And I said, "Well, thank you. I hope I'm a heart person, but I hope I have a heart for and love for people, which I do. But you know what? It is true. You need people, and that's what connection and community building is all about. What I love about live streaming too is it raises visibility because visibility is so important in all that you do. Because if people don't know, then they can't help you, they can't work with you, they can't buy your product or service. So today, when you connect to build community and get visible, amazing things happen. So yes, so glad to be here today. I of course love to connect. RussHedge.com is a place to go. Again, I'm a simple-minded guy. MyName.com, RussHedge.com. If you know my name, you're going to find me. So go to RussHedge.com today. And I tell you, all of the ways to connect with me, whether it is social media, my email, my phone number, you can even schedule time directly on my calendar to Zoom with me. I would love for you to do that. Whether we've done it before or not, please schedule time. Let's get together and chat. I love to talk to people and truly connect. I always tell people it is a true statement. I'm a lifetime connector. So you're stuck with me as your friend anyway. So let's get together, let's talk, and then talk again, and then talk again. So yes, again, please subscribe on YouTube at marketingwithruss.live. And right now, before we really get going and Nicole comes in the room, share this out. Just hit the share button or tag your friends, put the outside your friends' names and link to them, whether you're watching on LinkedIn or Facebook, whatever you're doing, let them know that we're on. And so that would be so great. And I would be eternally grateful for that. Thank you. Because, a lot of people are like me, busy, forget all the great shows that are on and amazing. And so, like my guest Nicole, who had an amazing show this morning, and I completely forgot because I was actually off doing something. I had an appointment I had to go to this morning. But when people remind me, then I'm thinking, oh yeah. And then I've either find a way to watch, and also now I'll go back and watch Nicole's show on replay, which is always available. So anyway, love that. Okay, so behind me, my book, Life Happens and Then You Choose. Yes, we have hand motions. Life happens and then you choose. It's all about perspective. You're living life with a good perspective in spite of life challenges. Talk a lot about my cancer journey. Talk about my journey with my parents with Alzheimer's, dementia, and cancer. Talk about my journey when I had a near life-ending car accident at 19 and was flown life flight to Emmanuel Hospital in Portland and had a bunch of trauma surgeons save my life. Thank God for that I was able to get there. What a blessing. And I'm alive today to come to you. So there's a lot of things that I've had to overcome, just like you. You have your own stuff. We all have our own stuff, but it will help you through that, give you encouragement and give you a good perspective to move forward. So I tell you what, and make it simple. If you want to get a copy of that or any of my books, go to russhedge.com. There you go. Or you can just go straight to Amazon and go to Russ Hedge. It'll pop up all my books on the author page, or you'll just come up under my name. So thank you so much for that. All right. Last but not least, here we go. The marketing tip of the day. We do this every Monday and Thursday before our guest comes in. This gets put out separately on YouTube Shorts, on social media, on all of that. So yes, are you ready? This is going to be a good one. Okay, here we go. And this is a little encouragement for you. Short, simple. All right, here we go. This is your marketing tip of the day. Be visible in all you do. That's right. I'm telling you, you need to be visible in all you do, because no matter how great you are and no matter how amazing things you're actually doing, if people don't know what you're doing, they can't see you, they don't know what's going on, they can't partake, they can't be part of your service or your product. They cannot be part of what you're doing and collaborate with you. There's no way to bring them together if you're not visible and people cannot see you. There's many, many ways to do that. Not going to go into all the ways to do that. There's amazing people. I can help you. There's other amazing people that can help you in this area, but be visible, whether you're posting on social media, whether you're putting out an email newsletter, whether you are taking video that you're utilizing in a multiple ways, social media and with presentations, whatever. Get out where the people are and be visible because it's so important to all you do. So be visible today, and that is your marketing tip of the day. All right, there we go. So that is our marketing tip. Please share that out, like and share, please, all the areas, whether it's a show or whether it's a marketing tip. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, here comes Nicole. She's waiting. She can't wait. Here she goes. Hey, Nicole.
Hey, Russ, glad to be here.
I am so glad you're here. You know, every time I forget it's new, I was going to just give you a big drum roll and applause. There we go. I should have done that before, but now you're officially here. Everybody's cheering for you. It's all about you. So, Nicole, tell us, who is Nicole? What are you up to?
Well, hey, good to know you. So, on a personal level, I'm Nicole, and I go by Nicole. So that's me, and I identify as myself. I love it. I think it's great. Things like, in business, what do? I help people leverage the stage. I'm an event host, but in personal life, hey, I'm a hiker, a tree hugger. I love to go out and walk by the lake and look at the crocs and wave at them from a distance and say hello. And that's me in a nutshell.
Well, from a distance, definitely, because if the Crocs are out there, nice to see them, but they're a ways off. Kind of like the time that we were driving through Yellowstone National Park and we saw a grizzly bear. And I said, "Oh, cool, grizzly." And I went jumping out of the motorhome and went running towards a grizzly. My wife is yelling, "Don't run to the grizzly." But it was actually a long distance off. So I would just run to where I could see it better. But yes, you want to keep your distance from those kind of things. Well, I'm with you. I love nature, grew up around all of that, and I love life. So, but you are out there helping so many people, and you just had your live stream, and we were talking about that a little bit before the show. Tell me a little bit about that and all that you really like to help people with.
Well, really, it goes to visibility with what you were talking about earlier. That's what it is all about. And so I lead business owners to leverage their events. They're leveraging, sharing with them how to leverage your visibility. Like you said, Russ, hey, I'm a fan, a super fan over here. When you're talking about that, life happens, and then you get on the stage, and then the camera turns on, and are you talking for applause? Are you speaking to about a cause? Or you should always be engaging on a stage, in a room, talking to people, and it's who you know, like, and trust. People get to know you the more they hear you. So the more live you do, not only does it push that algorithm out there, and then we're collaborating on a few more stages, right? YouTube and LinkedIn, and we both got this pumping out in all kinds of places. It's really about sharing with people the leverage of their lead generation, just in the smallest, simplest context is really, your lead generation is what Facebook is doing. How are you talking to people? So if you want to share with people about your story, about, if you're riding a train, or you had a thought come to you, or sharing that you have a nonprofit, you want to share those things to people, and you want to tell them how you're going to best serve that. And then, hey, give them a good call to action somewhere, even if it is just jump on the call. Like you were talking earlier, you told people, hey, jump on a call with me. I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's so important because as you build community, great things happen and you become more visible. And when I'm out with community, what I've always learned is I always make sure that everybody knows that I'm there, right? People say, well, I can only talk to a few people during, this meeting, this networking meeting. And that is true. You can only get around to so many people. My goal is always to get around to as many people as possible, high five them, say hi, smile at them, do something. But then when I have every opportunity I have to say something, I'm going to step out and say something because it also, again, makes me visible there and everybody knows that I'm there. I tell people if you go to a networking meeting and you hide in the corner, you might as well not go And I really feel bad for those wallflowers. And I usually go to the corner with them, talk to them, bring them out, and introduce them to a few people to get them going, because you really got to get out there, get moving with all you do. But so let's talk a little bit more about just the ways that you can do it besides what I just talked about. How do I get visible with my product or service? So because there's so much out there, so much competition, so much noise, how do I rise above the rest?
So a best way I find, especially statistically, is you want to talk to one to many. So that's what we're doing here today. It's a one to many, right? There's actually two to several, right? Getting on a stage and collaborating with someone, having a workshop. It's you're the one expert, or maybe you have another person in there. You're talking to many people in the crowd. You're leveraging the one time. Maybe it's 90 minutes, maybe it's an hour. You're leveraging that. A summit is great because a summit is I find the best way. And there's some changes in 2026 on all the systems and the software, and even going into virtual reality. If you're doing a summit there's a group of people. Your speakers are your best bet. That's your group. That's your support. Those are the people paying for those high ticket items, because they know you. They know that they can trust you. And they know that they've already talked to you. They've had a warm relationship with you. Those people trust you. That audience out there wants to hear about you. So you're talking to many people, and you're giving them tips and tricks and all kinds of things. Plus you're scaling, and then you get to replay the video. You get to cut a few clips. You get to share that out there, and you're leveraging that audience that's there. Even the people that just sign up, maybe they forgot to attend. Maybe they got a little busy. Life happens. But you want to reach out with them. Are you still continuously marketing to them and give them a few free gifts? You want to have a several touch points that you can talk to your crowd. And you always want to talk to your crowd like you're the rock star, just getting on the stage and talking to those people and telling the story. It's just a fluid engagement that you're constantly working on. And how can you get in front of a room? And they're great. The summits are great because you got a few days. And I added recently speaker panels. I love to have Q&A with my speakers. I don't necessarily want to know about your cat. I want to know a little bit more about your business pain points that you solve, that you talk about in the coffee room or in the cubicle, those kind of backstage conversations about business that nobody really talks about. And Tony Robbins just did that with one of his money or investment books. He said, hey, if I at billions of dollars was having an issue getting into certain clubs and investing, maybe other people have that. We had conversations behind the scenes. I want to share some of those conversations publicly. So are you sharing those little tidbits with your audience?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it is a constant process. I really tuned into that statement that you made because I always talk about the know, like, and trust factor. When you're building relationships with people, it is a constant ongoing thing. It's not a ladder that you celebrate when you get to the top and stop. It's a constant process of know, like, and trust, because as you build those relationships, you build that visibility, you strengthen your position and all that you're doing. And it makes you more confident. The more confident you are, the more people are drawn to you as well. You got to be authentic and confident and visible out there. And that's where really great things happen. I think a lot of times people just get really kind of, we talk about being stuck. I've tried social media and I've tried this, but it doesn't seem to work. And I think a lot of times, Nicole, it boils down to being intentional about where you're looking to be visible, because you got to be in the right room, being intentional about where you're trying to go, but also making sure that you're putting out things that actually catch people's attention on that. When you're visible, it makes them stop for at least a few seconds to look, right?
Yeah, you want them to stop. You want to say hello, like what you were talking about at a networking event, where you stop and you talk to people, you say hello. This gives people a chance. And in the summits, I've also added late last year with some of my summits, I added not only those speaker panels, but a point where the audience can come up and say, hey, I got a question. I want to know more about you. Here's some engagement. There's there's that saying, there's no bad question, or you have to ask the right question. But, in my background in law enforcement and security, the only time the investigator asks a question is if they know the answer to the question, because they have leverage, right? So when you have a crowd of people coming in here and they're asking you questions, they're not questioning you. They're not questioning your products or your service. They want to get to know. So start to answer their questions and feel comfortable with them, just like in networking. So they can have that comfort to maybe get to that point of what question they really need to ask, because they're not sure about your product. They're not sure about your acronyms. They're not sure about your abbreviations you want. Maybe they haven't got that lingo yet. So meet them where they're at and kind of, guide them along and be the expert. And when you guide them along and you start having a conversation, instead of, hey, oh my gosh, people are asking me questions, we've forgotten that engagement, right? We've forgotten to be able to ask questions. That's why it's important to get on people's podcast and, and let people ask questions. It's not zingers. Nobody's putting you down. Nobody's trapping you. You need to be able to talk and engage, and everybody thinks a little bit different and everybody has different answers. So everybody's a unique unicorn in their business, right?
That is true. I like that. A unique unicorn. Perfect. You said it before, talked about your story. Everybody loves a good story. And I think a lot of people have limiting beliefs about an imposter syndrome about their story. Nobody really cares about me and what I'm doing. This doesn't really matter, but it really does, because that's what people tune into. That's why we love movies and, certain shows, because they're a good story. How do you help people get that story out and really understand that?
Well, I think it's important. I'm not a speaker coach. I just give you the room, right? I'm giving you a stage to share your incredible story. But really, it's your relationship. Nobody cares until they know how much you care, right? It's that factor of, are you caring about yourself enough to get on the stage? And I'm a chairwoman of Confronting Domestic Violence. That's a hard subject to talk to people about, It can be pretty devastating and traumatic. We don't want to trigger people. That's kind of why we did our first summit in virtual reality, so people can have a safe space. But moving forward, you don't want people to feel triggered and relive the moment. We want to work with post-traumatic growth. How did you come on the other side? Kind of those old A&E TV, Dating Myself there, the biography channel. You want to hear about that kind of tough road to hoe, and then the happy ending, or where you came at peace and forgiveness at. And so if you share that with people, and then some tips on how you got there that may help them, then you can share that. That's the value of what you're bringing to the stage. If you're still in that really bad, horrible energy, or you're feeling like, hey, I don't know what to do, or nobody loves me, then there's some work that may need to be done before you come on stage. There is some work. So at the moment that camera comes on, you've got to believe it yourself. You've got to be in a space where you're happy with it. If you're not ready to share it, that's okay. There's other things you can share, and there's other ways to talk to people without getting on your soapbox with your bullhorn and banging your drum and screaming at people that they have to listen. There's so many important things out there. And listen, I want people to know what's going on with confronting domestic violence and how we're changing lives. And I want to hear people's stories. I mean, I worked in hospice and did some aromatherapy and some other things visiting. You want to hear people's stories. You want to let people talk. But you also want to come on the other end and realize that there's so much going on in people's lives you don't know. So if you're trying to trigger them and activate them at all times, that's not necessarily going to get them to listen to your product or your service or the value and the story that you're bringing to stage. So just remember that, and then engage. And so that helps as well.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I love that too. When you really listen to others and you engage with what you're doing, it helps so much in all that you're doing. And, this whole thing with getting more visible is an ongoing challenge for everybody, but it's something that we just need to take one step at a time every day, do a little something, be a little bit more visible, go to people like Nicole who can help you and encourage you. And that is what I always encourage people to do. And Nicole, as we get ready to wind down the show for today, what I really want from you now is just to give everybody your gold nugget of the day. What is the one thing you really want people to remember from our discussion? And let people know how they get in touch with you so they connect with you. Because boy, I tell you, I want to connect with you already.
I love that. Thank you. Turn on your camera. Do the thing, right? Do the thing and get out there. That's the best thing that you can do is do like we're doing now. Get on live and talk to people. Be the authority in the room. So just turn on the camera and go live. And don't worry about if something's going to happen. It will happen. It's when it's going to happen. So just be ready. Don't go perfect. Be human. That's how you're going to stand out and shine from AI. Is be your human self with all your glorious flaws. Maybe not your pajamas, but your glorious, wonderful flaws as a human being, and come on camera and talk to people and engage, or, just reach out to your neighbors and have that conversation. That's the best way to do that. Oh, and where people can find me, it's Nicole Borghi. So just as it's spelled on here, I can share my information in the chat. And everything is Nicole Borghi, NicoleBorghi.com, Nicole Borghi on LinkedIn. And that's where you find me. I too brand my name because I'll never forget the name.
I am with you. I'm with you, Nicole. That is so great. Well, listen, I have all of that right there for everybody. Not only is it in the comments and the show notes, and it's clickable, everybody. You can click and go right to it. But you know what? You can reach out to Nicole anytime by coming back to the show, looking for the information. Everything is available to you. Simple, simple, simple. And today I want to highly encourage you to do that and share this with your friends so they have an opportunity, because people are constantly fighting the visibility challenge, fighting how to get recognition and let people be seen out there by others and all that they're doing. And so today I want to highly encourage you to connect with Nicole. And Nicole, I just appreciate you so much for being here today. You are so awesome.
Thank you, Russ. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
I'm going to say goodbye to you and scream, but hang tight for just a second in the green room, all right? All right. Wow. I tell you, she is spot on. I'm telling you. Today, you need to connect with Nicole. There's all of her information again. And she is a great person, very dynamic, very helpful. And today, she can give you the help that you need, because we all need a little help from somebody, right? So make sure to do that. I love what she said. Turn on the camera, just go live. Don't worry about what's happening, because if you don't do that, then you're not going to ever have an opportunity. You can always think about it, but you got to start. And, just be authentic and human. Just be yourself, right? So I appreciate everybody being here today, rolling through a few more comments as we're wrapping things up. Remember, we're here every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. Not only do we go live, but then it sits on LinkedIn, YouTube forever, Facebook for 30 days. So you can go back to that forever. Please become part of our YouTube community. And how do you do that? Well, I tell you, you go to marketingwithruss.live. There you go. And I'd also love it if you would please connect with me at russedge.com. That would be so, so awesome. And, today is maybe Thursday. The week may be winding down, but there's still today and tomorrow in our work week so many amazing things that you can still do. And so get out there, take action. Just want to say a hashtag 1,000 thanks to everybody for being here today. Come back and join us again. Remember, we're here every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can connect on our YouTube page, like I said before. Connect with me, and I just appreciate everybody for being here. Royce, our number one viewer. Royce, you're so awesome. Thank you for being here again. Appreciate that. Catherine, always amazing. Nicole is, again, somebody that you really need to connect with today, and I want to encourage you to do that. So thank you, everybody, for that. And until next time, have just an amazing, amazing rest of the week and weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. All right. See you, everybody. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.